Top of the morning to you, Oyo State. Good morning, Ibadan, the capital of Oyo State. And great morning to you, Nigeria. Thank you for joining us this great Friday morning on Perspectives Unlimited on Wells Radio 89.3 FM, your preferred wholesome radio and Oyo State's number one family radio station. We're broadcasting live from Wells Broadcasting House along Alaafin Avenue, Oluyole Estate, the capital of Oyo State. My name is Ayo Emmanuel-Ojo, and I welcome you to the program for today. Perspectives Unlimited. Hop and early, we bring to you top stories making the rounds across major dailies in Nigeria for today. As I'd love to say, when you're sleeping, journalists are right awake, putting the stories together to ensure that when, of course, you wake up, you do not miss anything. From local stories to state, stories, regional, national stories, and even international stories. And of course, broadcast journalists like myself were also set to help you, digest them one after the other before you start your day. Happy holidays. Today is Good Friday. And so congratulations to all Christians globally and in Nigeria. Christ is the reason for the season. And if not for Christ, there'll be nothing called salvation. There'll be nothing called Easter celebration. And so, even as we celebrate, let's remember the essence of the season, the reason for his death, and of course, his resurrection. And so that should, reflect in all that we do, in our actions, in our words, and in how we behave, and above all, to ensure that Nigeria as a nation reflects the reason for the season. Happy holidays once again. This morning on the program, we have the Punch newspaper, and of course, we have the Nigerian Tribune. We'll also be reading from the Vanguard Online. Stay with us. On page 7 of the Punch, Easter, NSCDC deploys 57,000 personnel nationwide. On page 19, World Bank inject $500 million into Nigerian farms. On page 28, EFCC moves to seize 57 Malami-linked properties. And on page 26, still in Oyo State, Makinde insists all on Ali's crowning today despite Ibadan Oba's boycott. And from that story in Oyo State, we move to the national level on page 2 and 26 of the Punch. 2027 battle, INEC under fire as ADC crisis worsens. Riders to the story, the first one says INEC defends Mark Aregbesol's de-recognition. Opposition leaders demand Amukpita's sack. ADC defiles INEC and sees convention will hold as planned. Otomi Ezekwesili orders warn INEC APC against stifling opposition. And on page 7 in Plateau yesterday, Tinubu visit victims, sends 850 soldiers. On page 27, Gulf's Dangote commits 66 billion naira to Oluremi, Tinubu's food bank. On page 5, Ogun shot school over suspected gas leak on page 5. And finally, on the Punch, 2027, Falana Adams predict one candidate presidential poll. Moving on to the Nigerian Tribune on page 3, why 57 properties linked to Malami should be permanently forfeited to federal government, says EFCC. On page 21, Olubadan Palace reviews Ali. 2 orders won't be available for coronation today. Denies rift with Makinde. And of course, to the Nigerian Tribune, major story, ADC Films knocks INEC, asks Amukbita to quit on page 4 and 5. Vows to proceed with party congresses, says agenda is to make Tinubu only option for electorate in 2027. Democracy at risk, Turaki-led PDP wants. PRP, SDP, woos Atiku Obi, Kwakwanso others. You are architect of your misfortune. APC replies ADC. Call for Mukitan's removal, a distraction. Assault on our independence, says INEC. And on page 30, Dangote NNPCL gulves swear food bank with 65 billion naira. Malnutrition, a national emergency, First Lady says. And on page 22, gridlock cripples Lokoja. Abuja highway travelers stranded for over 24 hours. And on page 2, Plateau killing, Tinubu insists killers must be identified. Ordered 5,000 CCTV cameras for state. Motswang thanks the president for approval of 1,000 forest guards. Recent attack ploy to sabotage 2027 elections, former Governor Jang says. And enough of condemnation, act now, Sharia Council tells government security agencies. And let's go to the Vanguard and take one or two stories here. Plateau killings, this won't happen again, Tinubu vows. ADC uproar greets INEC axing of Mark and Regbeshola. Otomi alleges plot of INEC opposition to weaken INEC APC to weaken the opposition. 2027 Tinubu will secure re-election, Umahi says. And finally here, ADC crisis, INEC's decision. An ambush Nigeria must resist, says Afenifere. As a story on the Premium Times would like to take this morning, 197 hostages surrendered. 819 insurgents, 197 insurgents surrendered. 813 hostages rescued in March, says Defense Headquarters. Gunmen kill another traditional ruler in Ebonyi State. And of course, the screaming and biggest headline out of Nigeria today is that of the president. This will not repeat itself. President Tinubu vows in Jos. We're going to take a break, and when we come back right after the break, we dive straight into the conversation for today. And of course, our analyst is set also to help us understand the stories across the major dailies, the selected ones for today. Stay with us.
Please be seated. You have no light at the airport, and I have to fly back within the next 10 minutes. To you leaders, I've had this. To the victim, there is nothing I can give you, whether money in billions, but console you and promise you that this experience will not repeat itself. I take, for example, Favor Roda. I know the pain. I see how on the video you head on to Ayuba and the pain and agony in your heart. But it's only God. It's only God who can give you joy and comfort. No amount of money can pay all of you back. Yes, as government, we will try our best to comfort you, to work with you. The best solution is for just to be just. The one that people like us grew up to know. Please have your seat. I salute all of you leaders. But I've had the experiences of the past.
Right, welcome back to the program. Once again, thank you for joining Perspectives Unlimited this morning on Wells Radio 89.3 FM, your preferred wholesome radio and on your state number one family radio station. My name is Ayo Emmanuel-Ojo. Before we dive into the conversation, remember that these stories are not intentionally out there to depress you or to make you sad. Rather, that's what's happening in our nation, Nigeria. And as I always would advise, do not let them shape your day, decide how you feel. Rather, you may want to extract your prayer points from them. And of course, as we prepare for the forthcoming elections, also let it, turn you on to make the right decision towards that election. So say to yourself, I would not be depressed by the stories. The stories will not decide whether I'll be happy or not, because my joy is not tied to any of the stories. Have you done that? Now let's begin with this. It will not repeat itself. Tinubu vows in Jos. President Bola Tinubu on Wednesday assured residents of Plateau State that the recent wave of killings in the state capital, would not reoccur as he visited Jos to commiserate with victims of the Palm Sunday attack in Angwa-Rokoba community. This will not repeat itself, Mr. President said, while addressing community leaders and residents acknowledging the pain and the loss suffered in the attack that left 28 people dead and many others injured. The president comes days after the incident, described as a coordinated evening assault. The incident has triggered a series of violent reprisals, tension across nearby communities and heightened security concerns. The president said no amount of money could compensate for the loss, but pledged that the federal government would support victims and ensure justice in that area. In his remark, the governor, Caleb Mutwang, described the attack as a major setback, but expressed confidence that the state would recover. The governor noted that Plateau had recently expressed relative calm before the latest violence and urged the federal government to sustain security gains. He said he had convened a State Security Council meeting and taken far-reaching decisions to address the situation, adding that the security agencies were intensifying their effort to restore order. All right, former leaders of the state also called for a dialogue. They include, of course, the former governor, Simeon Lalong of the state, said the recurring violence requires collective responsibility and frank discussions among the leaders. Also, Governor Jonah Jang warned that the resurgence of violence in urban areas signal a dangerous, trend for that particular state, which is Plateau State. And remember, according to reports that we're getting, that the president has also ordered the immediate installation of 5,000 networked surveillance cameras across Plateau State to help law enforcement agencies intensify and even identify the so-called troublemakers and prevent future attacks. Welcome back to the show. With me in the studio this morning is Mr. Olale Kosoni to help us understand and make sense, if possible, some of the stories we have in the news today. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning. How are you doing today?
I am doing very, very well. How about you?
Well, we thank the Lord.
God is good.
Some of the stories, to be honest, I personally, since this incident on Sunday, have personally avoided, anywhere where I, cite that story. As a matter of fact, I may be going off some social media platforms today, just for personal reasons. it's extremely
draining.
Yes, very, very draining. And I realized that in the last few days, social media may have contributed to how I feel. And I just want to stay off it for some time, possibly Facebook. Right, because you just find everything there, and just to protect your mental health, it's very, very important. And so I've personally been, away from this story, not because I do not know what it entails, but it saddens the heart, especially the footage of the woman with her son. That in itself, it's very, very heartbreaking. The visit of the president, I'd like to have your thought on the visit of the president to that location, the promises made at a time like this. While that may sound soothing, if you go on X specifically, you would see that it was taken with a pinch of salt by a lot of people, as a lot have also referred to other promises that these administration have failed Nigerians. I'd like to have your thought on the visit of the president and what you think that would eventually translate to. 5,000, surveillance cameras to be installed in Plateau, 850 soldiers to also be deployed to the place. And one major highlight of this incident is that it happened in the urban center, not even in the rural area, and it makes it even more concerning. Before now, when we hear of reprisals, attacks, and the likes, it's usually in the rural communities in some of these areas. And to see that at the center of Jos, the state capital, this kind of incident happened without any form of arrest,
not even arrest, resistance
or resistance,
hindrance.
And I learned it took about an hour to put this off in that place. Where do we go from here?
Thank you very much, Chef. The truth of the matter is that Nigeria is in a very, very dire situation. And what is even more unfortunate than that is that the current president appears to be unperturbed by what is happening. Let us start from the good side of his visit. He promised them that the experience will never repeat itself. I mean, that is not what would interest someone like me. What would interest someone like me is what you have put on the ground to ensure that something like this will not repeat itself. I should tell you something, my very dear brother. Between that Sunday incident and yesterday when the president went to the place, at least 3 ugly incidents happened in the same Plateau State. There is the case of mass kidnapping. There is a case of killings around another sensitive location, the Plateau State Polytechnic. 2 people were killed around that vicinity. And another incident where people lost their lives. It shows clearly that the government is not in any way interested in fixing our problem. All what the president knows how to do is to talk, and talk. And in all seriousness, like they say in Yoruba language, "Aroye Okan Agbon," what you say doesn't really matter. What matters is what you do. The president has given some assurance that, I am going to send 850 additional troops. In all seriousness, we know what is happening in Plateau State. The governor of Plateau State at some point told us that he has issues with members of the personnel of the Nigerian army. That not once, not twice would he get intel that these bad boys are up to something. And he would call them, go to this particular place, and they'll say they are not interested in going. And in some instances, they will go there, and when they get there, moments before these bad boys arrive, these guys just disappear mysteriously. That is not even the worst part of it. The worst part of it is that, according to the governor of Plateau State, Caleb Mufwang, who was at that venue yesterday, he said that not once, not twice would he tell military personnel to visit a particular place to forestall an ugly incident. Guess what? The bad boys will come, they will do whatever they want to do in the presence of the soldiers, and they will go untouched. What Nigerians want is not additional troops deployment. What we want is that we want you to go and uproot them wherever they are. Like, as far as I'm concerned, one of the spokespersons of this government, Gumi, because he said something on behalf of the government that, all what he has been doing has been in connivance with the government, that, anytime he went into the forest, the government was always aware, such that they even gave him soldiers and police officers. So that makes him a spokesperson for this administration. He said that the government knows where these people are, that they know the exact location. In fact, not just that they know their location, they know them by their first names. And nothing is happening to them. Not one of them has been arrested. It tells you that we are not interested, because if we are really interested, we will not wait for them to strike again before we fight. Rather, we will take the fight to them to dislodge them. If it's a case of being reactionary, that they do, then we move, then they are going to keep killing us. Rather, we need to switch and make sure that we kill them, and before they even assemble, we kill them again. Before they assemble again, we keep decimating them. That is how to end this madness. Let's now make a specific reference to what the president said in Plateau State yesterday. In all seriousness, I am both livid and relieved. I am livid because of the statement the president made in Plateau State. I should tell you that, despite the fact that he had said that he would be going to Plateau State at least 24 hours before yesterday, he did not arrive Plateau State until past 5 yesterday. Past 5 in the evening, on his way to Lagos for the holidays. He had a detour. I won't even say he stopped by, because he never left the airport. That should be made very, very clear.
For power-related reasons, he said?
No. I don't know if you've been to Jos before. If you have been to Jos by air, the airport is over 30 minutes, if not 1 hour, from the city center. And they didn't have that time. They had to ferry these people, these victims, people who are mourning. They had to bring them to him at the airport. It didn't end there. When he arrived at the airport, he never left the terminal of the airport. He said, I have just 10 minutes to spend here. There is no light in your airport, and I must leave here in not more than 10 minutes. That tells you who the president is.
What do you think the president should have done? Stayed longer,
The truth of the matter
a better
is that
visit.
The truth of the matter is that the president could have done anything better than what he did, because he has told us who he is. That's why I said I am relieved. I'm coming there. In all seriousness, he should have arrived at least the night before. Spent the night in the city of Jos. Then the following morning, as early as 7 a.m., come outside.
Let's talk about the signals. What signals, what difference would spending the night?
What it would mean is that it would appear as though you are sharing in their pain. You are living. You have to walk through that street, the street where that thing happened. You must walk that the entire length of that street. That is what will tell the people that at least he is concerned. He is with us. Not that he's going to bring these people back, but at least to make the people understand that you walked through the same route these people passed through in the final minutes of their lives. That means a lot. He said, there is no light in your airport, as though I am the one who should put light in the airport. It's the duty of the government to put light in that airport. He didn't put it there, and yet he was still spiting the people by saying that there is no light in your airport, and I will not be staying here for more than 10 minutes. It shows clearly that the president is totally detached from our pains and concerns.
Isn't that supposed to be the responsibility of, maybe the state government?
No, it is not.
Is it an international airport in Jos?
It doesn't matter. Even if it's a community airport, aviation is in the exclusive list. Yeah. It's something that, apart from Sheyi Dadi Ayo, as far as I'm concerned, with 42 billion.
The governor could have done the same in Jos.
It doesn't make sense. Even if it's in naira, even if it's 1 naira, you shouldn't spend money belonging to the state on a federal project. I complained bitterly when Sheyi was doing that there and here, and I'm still saying it loudly that the governor of Plateau State has no business whatsoever spending a dime on Jos Airport. It is a property belonging to the federal government. It is the federal government that should maintain that airport. The federal government has failed to do that. And guess what? The president was still using it to spite the people of Plateau that there is no light in your airport and I'm not spending. This is a guy that arrived around 5:30, still telling them that he was not going to spend more than 10 minutes. That tells you, as far as I'm concerned, the president has no soul and there is no human blood running in him.
All right, so your opinion. We're going to take a break. When we come back right after the break, we're going to complete that conversation. Open the phone lines to, have your own thoughts on the president visit to Plateau. And of course, from our analysts now, we can see highlighting the short duration, the circumstance mentioned by the president on why he would not be staying or he couldn't have stayed longer than expected. Still to come, NSCDC deploys 57,000 personnel nationwide for the holidays. And of course, here in Oyo State, Makinde insists on at least crowning despite Ibadan Oba boycott. We'll look at that and more when we come back. Stay with us.
Do you want to eat and stay healthy? Are you looking for healthy, high-quality chickens? Do you desire to start your own poultry farm? SMC Foods is your reliable plug for your healthy chickens. We specialize in the sales of premium and healthy chickens and poultry. We offer consultation services for your poultry farm setups. We are located at Oluyole Extension, Olusoji, Ibadan. To place your order or for enquiries, call Modupe on 0813-970-3731. At SMC Foods, we are reliable, tested, and trusted.
Are you hungry for something delicious? Food that feels like home but tastes like pure luxury? Then welcome to Honeydew Restaurant, where every meal is made to make you smile. From our smoky jollof to rich ofada sauce to a variety of delicious soups like egusi, eforiro, and more, paired with your favorite proteins and hot, freshly made swallows. All made for you to enjoy. We also handle bulk orders in liters, fresh and ready. You need it. We deliver it to your doorstep. At Honeydew, it's not just the food, it's the feel. Beautiful ambience, perfect for your romantic dates, family outings, or your quiet, relaxing evening escape. Join us every last Friday of the month at 7 p.m. for karaoke night with Jayola and enjoy music, games, food, drinks, and free mocktails and cocktails as you sing your hearts out. Visit us at Plot 42, Block 8, Alaafin Avenue, beside Wells Radio, Oluyole Estate, Ibadan. For your doorstep delivery or inquiries, call or WhatsApp 0814-691-6635, 0814-691-6635. Honeydew Restaurant, where every meal is made to make you smile.
How long will it take you to confirm payment? I have been waiting for the past 1 hour.
I'm so sorry. Our network is slow. I will just run out of data.
Same excuse yesterday. It is unacceptable, please. You better switch to One Data Internet Service.
One Data?
Yes, One Data. One Data is an internet service provider with the best alternative and solution for unlimited speed. One Data provides fast and reliable internet service to organizations, homes, and places of interest in Nigeria. With One Data, you get to enjoy the premium internet service with dedicated unlimited internet speed at all times, 24/7 fantastic customer service and support, and you enjoy a 1-month free subscription when you make payment. Now is the time to say goodbye to downtimes. Sign up with One Data today on 0811 223 2671 or visit www.onedata.ng for more inquiries. One Data, unlimited speed.
The Financial Services Regulation Coordinating Committee, FSRCC, in collaboration with the National Broadcasting Commission, NBC, wishes to draw the attention of the public to the activities of illegal financial operators, IFOs, which threaten public trust and the stability of the Nigerian financial system. The general public is hereby advised to refrain from dealing with unlicensed financial operators who deceive individuals with unrealistically high investment returns. Verify the licensing status of such schemes on these websites: www.cbn.gov.ng, www.nicom.gov.ng, www.pencom.gov.ng, www.sec.gov.ng, www.fsrcc.gov.ng. To report any suspicions of illicit financial activities, call CBN 0817 665 7060, 0707 338 4828, SEC 0209 462 1168. Announcer, FSRCC.
Wells Radio, 89.3 FM, your preferred wholesome radio.
To you leaders, I've had, to the victim, there is nothing I can give you, whether money in billions, but console you and promise you that this experience will not repeat itself. As government, we will try our best to comfort you, to work with you. Let me give this assurance. I'll be here to establish peace. I brought the symbol of this cap to break the shackle of violence, shackle of ignorance, shackle of poverty, shackle of hopelessness. We must break it together. I thank the men and women of the armed forces, particularly the police. You must unearth and find the killers. We are going to install immediately a network of cameras that will help the law enforcement agencies to identify the troublemakers instantly.
Welcome back to the program. Perspectives Unlimited is live on 89.3 FM, Wells Radio, your preferred wholesome radio, and your state #1 family radio station at 7 minutes past 7 o'clock. Today, Friday, the third day in the month of April 2026. My name is Ayo. Easter, NSCDC deploys 57,000 personnel nationwide. You want to join the conversation? That story of Plateau and the visit of the president. You can phone into the studio now and let's have your thought. 0916 893 1000, 0915 333 4893, and 0911 333 3893. Again, 0916 893 1000 and 0915 333 893 and 0911 333 3893. Studio lines to call and share your perspective with us on the program this morning. While we wait for your feedback, which you can also do on our Facebook platform, Wells Radio 893 FM fan page, we move on to the story. The Nigeria Security and Civil Defense Corps, NSCDC, has deployed over 57,000 officials across the country ahead of the Easter celebration to strengthen security and ensure a peaceful holiday period. Recall that the federal government had declared the 3rd of April and Monday the 6th of April as public holidays for Easter, a major event in the Christian calendar worldwide. The commandant of NSCDC, Abubakar Haldo, approved the nationwide mobilization of operative, and of course, which includes special tactical intelligence operatives tasked with protecting lives and property and critical asset of the nation. I would like you to connect this to that of Plateau before we go into other political stories, as we still have stories surrounding INEC and the likes in the news this morning.
Thank you very much, Chief. In all seriousness, I'm not interested in that. It's Easter, it's Salah, it's Christmas, it's New Year. You will never see increased police patrol on the road in developed world. Rather, what they do is intel. They do intelligence gathering. Where are the bad boys? Where could these guys be? You take care of them silently without the people knowing, so that you won't even put fears in the minds of the people, and everything goes smoothly without any distraction. But in this part of the world, it's always about put 1 million troops on the road. Militarize the psyche of everybody such that people don't even know where to go. If to go out or not. That is not how to govern a space as large as Nigeria in 2026, for crying out loud. I'm more interested in intelligence work rather than this show of gra-gra. And the truth of the matter is that, my hunch, how sure are we that it's not even for administrative cost? So many instances you would hear that, there's an election, especially during the half-cycle elections. They are moving 100,000 personnel to a particular. What exactly is the strength of the Nigeria police? We know that over 100,000 of them are doing what's it called, protection, and you're still saying that you want to move 100,000 to just one state. For me, I have a hunch that it's all about collecting money for that, and at the end of the day, maybe a tiny fraction of those officers will be pushed out to go and do one or two things, and be it East Palm Sunday, which is actually part of the Easter celebration, as far as I'm concerned. The country experienced something terrible. So, of what significance is that patrol? I'm not interested in your patrol. Do intel work. Know where these guys are and take them out. That is what really matters.
All right. One major question I keep asking all the time is: do you think the security personnel in Nigeria, whether the Nigerian army, whether the police, the security system, basically, do you think they're overwhelmed already? Is the structure, is the possible overwhelming situation, is it on the structure or the morale of the men itself?
It is more of morale. Morale is very low. And the reason why it is low is because of the fact that welfare is poor. In terms of number, we do not have, I believe too well that we need more hands. But if you look at the population of Nigeria and the population of police officers that we have, there is hardly an area in this country that doesn't have at least a police post. It might be 5-10 minutes away, but in some countries it's even further than that. It's about the disposition of the officers towards doing their job. How do you tell somebody collecting less than 100,000 naira with no bulletproof jacket, with no helmet, to go and confront guys who are firing in all directions? Is he going to listen to you? He is never going to listen to you. Like I have been saying for some time now, I was watching the commissioner of police in one of these states, and he brought people, family members of late personnel, people who got killed in active service, and he gave them a lump sum of a particular amount of money. When I now divided the total number of people who died in action against the money that he brought out, I realized that it was going to be around maybe 330,000 naira for each per human life. And you think the people who are still in service are going to, and the greatest part of it is that year in, year out, Nigeria has been pumping insane amount of money into insecurity. And the more we pump in the money, the more dire the situation becomes. Let me make a particular instance. The budget was increased day before yesterday from 58 trillion to 66 trillion thereabout, or 67 trillion. Before that happened, the budget for the Nigerian military for 2026 was 6 trillion naira. With the increase, it's now around 8.3 trillion naira. News broke out 2 days ago that apart from the budgetary allocation, there is also an extra budget allocation of around 100 billion naira per month. If you combine everything together, we're talking about 9.3 trillion, inching towards 10 trillion. And the more that money goes in, the more insecure we become. The question is, where is that money? That's number one. Number two is this: how sure are we that because some guys want to keep getting money every year, they are intentionally allowing some things to slide? Because should they take care of Boko Haram, Hisrop, all of these bad boys overnight, what is the justification for getting 10 trillion naira next year? How sure are we that that money itself is not the reason for insecurity in this country?
All right, that's another point. Let's move on to the INEC and ADC crisis. 2027 battle, INEC under fire as ADC crisis worsens. The Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, has come under intense criticism following the derecognition of the leadership of the African Democratic Congress, ADC, on Wednesday. Opposition heavyweights and top leaders of the ADC on Thursday condemned the electoral umpire for the decision, accusing the commission of acting under the influence of the APC-led federal government. As a result, they called for the immediate removal of the chairman, Joaisha Mukwito. However, in a swift response, the electoral umpire dismissed the call for Mukwito's removal. In a statement on Thursday night in Abuja and signed by the Chief Press Secretary to the INEC chairman, Adedayo Ketola, the Commission acknowledged the right of stakeholders to express their views, but stressed that its operations and leadership structure are constitutionally protected. INEC on Wednesday announced its decision to delist key ADC figures, including the National Chairman David Mark and the National Secretary Rauf Aregbesola and others. The INEC National Commission and Chairman of Information and Voter Education, Mohammed Haruna, stated the decision was in compliance with a court order directing the Commission to maintain the status quo pending the trial, court determination of the case. Let me get your viewing on this. What's going on? The law. I mean, on both sides, and that even makes the law more important. Two parties would go to court, and the two parties would, quote sections of the law. Now INEC is quoting sections of the law, while it's, of course, it's blinking political lights, across quarters. I mean, let's get your viewing on this.
Thank you very much. Well, let's start on a soft note. The law is on us. It is like an animal. You push it, and it goes in the direction you want it to go. That is, if you know how to push it. That is why there are lawyers, and not just lawyers, brilliant lawyers. In all seriousness, INEC is beginning to behave in a way you would expect of Boko Haram and Hisrop. I am not directly calling the organization a terrorist organization, but they are behaving in ways that terrorist organizations would behave. I don't believe there should be any reason for conflict because of the fact that what happened in the ADC is what the law permits. There was an exco. The exco resigned, and a new exco took over. That's simply a case of transition within the political party. And in all seriousness, the guy who went to court on behalf of the other camp, someone I believe, in my personal opinion, is being sponsored by the government, said he didn't resign. At that point, what he should be talking about is not how he is going to become the chairman. Rather, if he is sure that he didn't resign, he should file a case of criminal criminal intent against those who presented his resignation letter. Rather, he's not doing that. Emphasis is on me becoming the chairman so that I can cripple the party just like Wike, Seyi Makinde, and the other guys who did G5 crippled the PDP in 2023, spiraling to this point. That's on one side. This guy resigned. I have seen the letter of resignation. Not just that, I have also seen the acknowledgement letter. Original copy received by me that INEC signed. INEC signed and even stamped to say that they have received this guy's intention to resign, and in fact, indeed his resignation. But guess what? The same guy who went to court to say that, he's claiming to be the chairman of the party. INEC originally accepted that, it's now David Mark and Arebeshola that are going to be running the party, because that was what the law guided them to do then. No law in Nigeria says that INEC can remove the chairman of a party. It's the members of a party that will decide who the party's chairman is going to be. The members of the ADC have decided who the chairman of their party is going to be. If anything is going to disrupt that, is going to be as a result of a court judgment. And no court in Nigeria has said that David Mark don't stay as the chairman of the party anymore. What the Court of Appeals said was a case of maintain status quo ante bellum. What that means is that maintain status quo before litigation, before conflict started. David Mark became chairman mid last year.
Right.
This guy went to court in September. Who was chairman of the party before September that he went to court? That's David Mark. And the secretary is Arebeshola. That is exactly what the court said. But INEC, that's why I said they are beginning to act like a terrorist organization. INEC now said, no, we're not going to do that. Rather, we are going to remove David Mark and chairman. But to balance it in their home, with their rat brain, they said that, it's not just David Mark now. It's Nephew Balagumbe. This is someone who naturally has no access to that office. You are now saying that, you are removing the two of them, when in reality it was someone who was in office and another was just a bystander, a coward, a clown, as far as I'm concerned. That is not the point. In the case of the PDP, it was members of the PDP that destroyed the PDP. In the case of INEC, in all seriousness, INEC didn't contribute to the destruction of the PDP. I like to put blame where blame is. It was members of the PDP who destroyed the PDP. In the case of the ADC, they have not found any member, as far as I'm concerned, of the party to do their bidding. It is now Joash Amokbito, somebody who parades himself as a professor of law, that is now doing what, in my opinion, constitutes a violation of the law.
Where do you see all of this heading to?
What they want to do.
The politics hitting up.
It is all about 2027, no doubt about that. Everybody now knows that come 2027, there is going to be a formidable opposition.
Which is still going to be the ADC?
Yes.
Even with all
No. That is why they are.
That is why they are. Do you think INEC is going to pull through with
I don't see how INEC is going to win this battle. That's just the truth of the matter. Because of the fact that INEC has no point here. And I like what the ADC guys are saying. They are saying that, what the Electoral Act says is that we should notify INEC 21 days before our congresses, which we have done. Come April 7, we are going ahead with the Congress. No part of the Electoral Act says that INEC must come to the venue of our Congress.
Let's take this call. Good morning.
Yeah.
Hello?
Hello. Good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Salami from our town. Thank you for calling.
Yeah. God bless you. Good night, brother. Good morning, Mr. Lekonsoni.
Good morning, sir.
Yes, sir. I'm calling from our town. You see, I just want to appeal to Nigerians to remain calm and tread softly on this issue, because otherwise, with what is happening every day, it's enough to drive one crazy. Tell me, if Amokbito, I'm going to that should even be encouraging, that should even be kind of doing everything to encourage voter participation, is being more to further discourage Nigerians from voting. And I expected that Amokbito should have used this one to advise whoever is pushing him to destroy opposition, to say, this will have impact on the mindsets of the Nigerian voters. Because by the time people realize that INEC is another party in the election now, definitely people will see no reason to go and vote. Presently, I think in Nigerian the voter participation, I think the last record was about 19 or 21%. I tell you, sir, by the time Amupiton goes through, skates through with his whatever he's doing in INEC now, probably will be recording about 9% in the forthcoming general election, which is not good for our democracy at all. Look at the two brilliant professors. Professor Oshibajo was seen as the backbone of President Buhari's regime. Here's another prof that has been brought in to destroy the democracy of this country. Nigerians should just watch. I'm sure all the players know themselves and they know how to sort themselves. But what Amukwita is doing is a dangerous threat for Nigerian democracy. And the earlier he calls himself to order, the better for him and his generation and posterity. May God save Nigeria. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Salami. From our town. Thank you so much for your views.
Like I was saying,
oh, there's another call on the line. Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, Benga Mario. Thank you for calling.
Mr. Sonny, I greet you, sir.
Morning, sir.
Yes, sir. Sir, there's something I want to call your attention to, sir. Mr. Sonny, I mean no harm. I'm just trying to, inspiring to those in authority as guys, using guys in the context. That's what I want to call your attention to. Thank you very much. Okay. Now, lastly, the issue of Mr. President that went to Jos yesterday, just like the analysis Mr. Sonny made or not, it shows to us that Mr. President is not really connected to what is going on in Jos. Like he said, he wasn't even in the city. They have to bring those people down to him at the airport, and even says going to spend 10 minutes. It's not too good. I thought he would have been on ground. If he didn't sleep there a day before. If he had been on ground.
Oh, we lost that call.
In
Mr.
reference
Mario,
to what
please do
Mr.
call us back. Yeah.
In reference to Mr. Mario said as regards guys, I mean, that's international standard. Should we be calling them ancestors? Or Orisha? They are guys. These are people's children. These are people's fathers. These are people's friends. Let's not rate these guys beyond their capacity. They are guys like you and I. That's what it doesn't matter.
All right. Well, let's come to Oyo State. Finally, before we go, we have less than 3 minutes to go. Makinde insists on Ali crowning despite Ibadan Oba boycott. The governor of Oyo State will today, Friday, formally present staff of office to the newly elevated crowning wearing Obas in Ibadan land. According to the Commissioner of Information, Dr. Yelade, disclosed this on Thursday. Those to be crowned are the senator representing Oyo South Senatorial District, Sharafaddin Ali, who had been promoted to a Karun Balogun, Bolaji Adewoyin and Kola Babalola, who have been promoted to a Karen Olubada and a Karen Olubada respectively. And following their promotion, the High Chief will ascend to the Oberchief status. The event is scheduled to hold at the Makbo Hall at 10 a.m. The government said dignitaries from across the country should be, present and expected to attend the event. However, feelers from the town and report from the family compounds of the elevated monarch shows there was no preparation on the ground for the ceremony. Do you think Sharafaddin in particular? And I remember that I referred to this, let me read the source here. During the visit to the Ali family compound in Okiaremo in Ibadan, North Local Government area, the Punch observed that there was no preparation to show that the extended family members were preparing for the coronation.
The question I should ask
their son is the senator, is sitting senator. Their son is expected to contest in the coming election.
The question I should ask Sheyi Makinde is, if you were to be the one in the shoes of Sharafa Ali, will you come to that kind
of thing? Is this Sheyi Makinde or Ladoja?
It's not. I was making a mistake. I thought it was an in-house thing. Now I understand that it's the government that is actually pushing all of this. Rumors arrive that the party of Senator Ali has decided to, bring him forward for the next gubernatorial election. And should he become an Oba, that automatically knocks his governorship ambition out. He is currently a senator. Should he become an Oba, he will have to resign. Like I asked the other time, I'm going to ask again. if you were to be Sarafa, would you come to that event?
Do you think that event will hold today?
It will hold. Other people are going to go there, but trust me, you will see Sarafa there. If I were to be Sarafa, I won't go there.
Finally, before we go, the rumored resignation of Adebayo Adelabo. We have still not heard if Adebayo Adelabo will be resigning.
He will not be resigning, and the reason
and that means he would not be contesting.
He will not be contesting simply because of the fact that Baba Sokwe that it is Sarafa Liston, and for that reason, the gubernatorial ambition of the Minister of Power has ended at least for 2027. Come 2031, I don't know what may happen, but for 2027, Otilo.
God keep us all. Thank you so much for your time.
It is always an honor to be here.
That's all we can take for today, Oyo State. We want to appreciate you. Thank you for joining the show. 8 o'clock, Agbeya Wirin in Yoruba to take you through stories making the rounds in the nation. Mr. Lali Kosoni will be here again in Yoruba to help you understand that better. And up next is AM Sport. Lizette Femi Oloyade is also standing by to help us understand what's going on in the world of sport. It's Good Friday. Enjoy your holidays, and remember, Jesus indeed is the reason for the season. God bless you. Good morning.
Important information. The views expressed by the interviewee in this program are their own and do not necessarily reflect the views or opinions of Wells Radio 89.3 FM or its affiliated entities. Wells Radio 89.3 FM is committed to providing a platform for diverse perspectives and opinions, and the views expressed by guests on our programs are their personal viewpoints. Wells Radio 89.3 FM does not endorse or take responsibility for the content or opinions expressed by individual interviewees and callers. Thank you.
Not just another radio station.